Hey everyone, welcome back to another Mattel Hammond collection review. Today we're finally taking a look at Ray Arnold and the Pachycephalosaurus. The reason it took so long for this review, I like to review the human figure with its corresponding dinosaur that it's released with. It took me forever to find a Pachycephalosaurus. Finally found one when I was down in Florida. Actually, they had 4 on the shelves. I was nice and only took 1. I still have a couple more pre-ordered on Amazon. If those come in, whatever, I'll have a little Pachycephalosaurus herd. Ray Arnold, I've had, I think, for like almost 2 months now. I've had him so long, I've watched him go on clearance twice at my Targets. I think like down to like $7.50 and finally down to $3.50. Oh well, both these figures retail for $14.99. I'll leave links down below to Target and Amazon if you want to order these figures for yourself. So let's go over the package really quick before we crack both these figures open. First up is Ray Arnold. My studio lights are not casting a big shadow today. You can see him nicely in that window on the front of the packaging. John Ray Arnold is his full name. We do have the Jurassic Park 30th anniversary logo plastered on the top of the packaging. Back of the box, we get a picture of the figure. John Ray Arnold, unable to go through about 2 million lines of code. John Raymond Ray Arnold risks life in limb hit to restore the power system at Jurassic Park. Hold on to your butts. We also have a picture of Ray Arnold on the side. And then over here is the elusive Pachycephalosaurus that a lot of people are still looking for. What a pain in the butt figure this thing was to track down. Same thing. Jurassic Park 30 logo up here. Hammond Collection logo down here. Nice picture of the Pachy on the side of the box. This is his appearance in The Lost World. And on the back of the box, we have a picture of the Pachy in a scene from the movie with a name that may be difficult to pronounce. The Pachycephalosaurus faces InGen's head on with a skull that's 9 inches of solid bone. So enough about the packaging. Let's crack these figures open and finally take a closer look. And let's start with this 360-degree view of the Pachy and Ray Arnold. I have to say the Pachycephalosaurus is an absolutely fantastic figure. I think it's one of the best smaller dinos in the Hammond collection. I had a lot of fun playing around with this. I've actually had it for like a week or so. This thing took me forever to find, and I actually picked up a second one the other day, and I'm probably going to pick up a third one. I want a little herd of these. It's just such a good figure. The articulation is great. The sculpt is movie accurate. Has a very nice paint job on it. All around an absolutely great figure. You can see those oversized feet. Help great with stability, so you can pull off that one-legged pose. Ray Arnold, another great figure. It's hard to believe that we already have 2 Ray Arnold figures and no Dr. Wu yet. Well done figure. Very nice Samuel L. Jackson head sculpt. Looks very similar to the head sculpt to this last year's San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. He comes, with extra arms and stuff that we'll get onto a little bit later on in the review. But it's great that start getting more figures from the original Jurassic Park. But all around, both these figures I think are really well done. And now time for some measurements. Ray Arnold is your standard 3 3/4 inch figure, or 9.5 centimeters. That means he is 1/18 scale. The Pachycephalosaurus, if you measure along the curve of the neck, is 8 inches long, or 20.3 centimeters, and about 3.5 inches tall. To the top of the head, or 8.9 centimeters. So the Jurassic, the Lost World Pachycephalosaurus was around 16 feet long, or 5 meters. So I'll put this figure somewhere in the 124 scale range. And now let's first take a look at Ray Arnold, a very nicely done figure. Let's pull him in closer so we get a closer look at the head sculpt. Very nice Samuel L. Jackson head sculpt. His lab coat is all nicely done. You can see pens are painted in, and the Jurassic Park logo is printed on the pocket. His tie has some nice detail on it. You got a striped shirt underneath. You got a black belt with a silver buckle going down to the legs. He has his gray pants and black shoes. Here's a view from the back. Some nice folds and wrinkles on that lab coat. The glasses are actually removable. You can just pop them off. You got a nice head sculpt in there. You can see his mustache painted, and eyes are, for the most part, pretty nicely painted. You can see the tabs where the glasses go in. And let's take a look at those glasses really quick if my camera wants to focus in on that. They're so tiny. They don't really like them, but you do have some gold plastic for the frames of the glasses. They have a nice frosted look to them, and you just need to do is slide them back on. Just tab them back in, and you get his glasses back on. For articulation, his head can go side to side, up a little bit and down a little bit, a little wiggly waggly for that ball joint. Arms can go stick straight out, rotate, You get 90 degrees of bend at the elbow. You get backwards and forwards wrist rotation on that hinge joint. You do get this weird waist swivel. I do not like the waist swivel on the Hammond collection human figures. The only thing I don't like on them is it's more of like an ab crunch and pivot. You can't really get too much side to side movement. I feel like you're going to break the figure. He can do the full splits. You get a nice double jointed knee with some nice bend on that, and the feet can rotate and pivot up and down. And here he is with the San Diego Comic-Con variant. This is a mainline figure that has as much articulation as the Hammond collection. Both nicely done figures. The main difference is the different color plastic. You can see the two different shades of brown, and it is the same head sculpt, but you can see they actually painted the bald spot on the Hammond collection version. Let's get the camera to focus in on that. It is sculpted on the San Diego Comic-Con one, but for some reason they painted over it, and obviously the main difference is this one has a removable bloody arm. The arms are removable on this one, but we're going to get to that in a second when we check out the accessories. First up for accessories, you do get his little headset. Very nicely sculpted piece. It fits nicely over his head. He's just going to tab parts of it on his ears, and it fits nice and snug. And then for the next part, you can pop both his arms off, even though in the movie only one arm comes off. They're a little bit tight. There we go. And you can remove his jacket. You can put on his sleeveless arms. They just peg in right here. A little bit of force. You can just hear him pop in. And let's get the other arm out and get that snapped into place, and you have the shirtless version of him. The hands also do pop off, and they're interchangeable with the other hands on the other arms. Obviously, you can pop one of these arms off to recreate the horrible, unfortunate demise that Ray Arnold met with the raptor in the maintenance shed. Now let's take a look at the Pachycephalosaurus. Like I said earlier, this is one of my favorite smaller dinos in the Hammond collection. So it's a really, really nicely done figure. Let's zoom in and take a look at that beautiful head sculpt. Eye is done orange with a black pupil. That 9 inches of solid bone is all done with a nice transition of white before you go to the base green color of the head. You have some nice bright blue around the eye. All these knobs and horns sculpted all over the head. Beak is painted black, and opening up the mouth, you can see the tongue and gums are painted pink. Man, my camera does not like zooming in for these little macro shots. And then going down to the neck, you have some nice folds and wrinkles with some more of that green and those blue markings blended nicely together. Always like the coloration of the Lost World Pachycephalosaurus. Going down to the arms are nicely sculpted. One thing I always found weird on the Pachycephalosaurus, man, those hands are very, very human looking. They kind of creep me out just a little bit. And then go down to the rest of the body, got more folds and wrinkles, some nice scale detail all over the body. Oversized feet, but like I said earlier, helps with stability. You can pull off a nice one-legged pose with it. Toe claws are done a nice glossy black color. And then going down to the tail, you have this rubber tail with markings going down to about the halfway point. But all in all, a very cool looking figure and very movie accurate. Really, really like this Pachy. Now for articulation, mouth can open up all the way. It can close completely flush. Once you get it completely flush, you're probably going to need a tool to open that up or have longer fingernails than me. I always have a hard time opening the mouth up once I get it flush. The head can rotate side to side. It can go down. It can go up. And then you have the neck joint, some nice upwards and downwards movement and some rotation. No side to side movement. I wish there was like a big ball joint in here so you could get some nice side to side movement on that neck joint. Arms can swing out. You do have elbow articulation and rotation at that elbow joint. Going down to legs, you move back, forwards and backwards. You get a nice bend at the knee and at the ankle, and you also do get some ankle tiltage. And then going down to the tail, you get some upwards and downwards and side to side movement. Tail does have a bendable flexi wire for more posability. So all around, this figure I think turned out absolutely fantastic. And first up for comparisons, here it is with the Legacy Collection. Pachycephalosaurus is the new one that came out last year during Dominion. And I think these Legacy Collection ones cost around like $11, $12. So it really shows you the value of the Hammond collection. This Pachy costs like $3 more and is far, far superior than this one. I was not a fan of this Legacy Collection pack. I just feel like the color scheme made it look like a dollar store dino, but this new one for a couple bucks more, it just absolutely blows all the old Pachycephalosaurus out of the water. And next up, let's do some smaller Hammond Collection dinosaurs. First up, here it is with the Gallimimus, and next up, here it is with the Dilophosaurus. And let's do some Lost World Hammond Collection. Here it is with the Pachycephalosaurus. And next up, let's get out the Geo Sternbergia that I have still on this flight stand from the Dimorphodon. I have to keep my finger on it so it doesn't fall over, but an awful looking comparison by me. Let's do a non-Hammond Collection comparison. Here it is with the new Real Feel Electronic Rex, because I absolutely love this toy. And next up, here it is with the Hammond Collection T-Rex. And lastly, here it is with the rest of the 2023 Hammond Collection figures that we have so far. The Ankylosaurus, Concavinator, and male and female JP3 Raptors. Hammond Collection is going full force this year. There's a ton of new stuff coming up. We have a new Rex coming. Everyone's speculating it's going to be the Bull T-Rex from the Lost World. Still fingers crossed for a Hammond Collection Spino that gets released this year, because Jurassic Park 3 has been getting a little bit of love from the Hammond Collection. We got the baby Stego coming, Metriacanthosaurus, Irritator, a lot of cool stuff coming. Really excited for this line. This line is everything the Amber Collection should have been, but it couldn't be. And I'm glad Mattel switched to the smaller scale, because we're getting all these awesome figures. And it's making me want to collect the mainline figures less and less. There's still some cool stuff coming out in the main line, but I'm really holding back now because I just really enjoy the Hammond Collection. So final thoughts on these two new Hammond Collection figures. Ray Arnold is a good figure. The human figures have been pretty much solid for the most part in the Hammond Collection. Love the interchangeability of his arms. Wish the one of the arms was more severed like the San Diego Comic-Con one, but maybe because these are, in store at retail, Mattel probably didn't want to go with all that extra gore. The Pachycephalosaurus, absolutely great figure. One of the best smaller Hammond Collection dinosaurs in the line so far. I like it so much, I picked up twice, and I'm going to find another one. It took me months to find it, and now I'm finding these things all over the place. So yeah, highly, highly recommend the Pachycephalosaurus. It's just such a joy to play around with. Now, both these figures can be found at Target stores. They're also available from Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, Amazon. Take your pick. They should be pretty easy to track down, but never wait too long with the Hammond Collection figures, because once the next wave comes in, the older stuff becomes very, very hard to find. I always see tons of people asking, looking for stuff, especially the Dilophosaurus and Gallimimus. So Hammond Collection stuff, when you see it, don't pass up on it. I know they go on clearance here and there, but never wait for clearance, because you're going to end up disappointing yourself. It's good when you find them on clearance, like if you're still herd building, to fill in those gaps. But if you're waiting for a deal, just snag these things when you see them, because you will regret it in the end. Unless it's the human figures, of course. Those are always marked down and really easy to find. But anyways, so that will do it for the review. Still have a couple more new figures I need to get review, trying to play catch up on the channel, so stay tuned for all that. And as always, if you're enjoying the content on the channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously and is greatly appreciated. I'll see you guys for the next one.